What's good, everybody? For those of you guys who are new to my channel, I am Sydney Baker Green. I'm an international photographer and cinematographer, and today I really want to come on my channel and be really candid about the situation that's going on for a lot of small business owners, but more specifically us as photographers and filmmakers. It's no secret that this pandemic has caused a lot of small businesses and their futures in business to become very uncertain. So I really want to talk to you guys about some of the things I'm doing behind the scenes to pivot, because this does not have to be the end of our creative businesses. And I want to tell you guys a little story that shows just that. So a big question for a lot of you guys as photographers and filmmakers out there is how? How do you make it past this? How do you get past the inconsistent income? How do you get past not being able to book clients the way you used to? And more so, how do you come back from not being able to work for so long and be able to attract clients again in an atmosphere that is full of fear, to be honest? And what I want to do is give you guys some actionable steps that you guys can take at the end of this video. But in order to make these steps really hit home for you and understand why you should be taking them, I want to tell you guys a quick story that shows that changes in our industry have happened before. It's how you respond to them that matters. And I really want you guys to stick through to this story, because you will see how your business can become more resilient depending on how you respond to certain situations. So back in 2008, we started undergoing a change in the style of wedding photography. I'm using wedding photography specifically as an example. I think this transcended into other areas of photography, such as portrait photography, but we went from an old school style, which was more, I would call it stiffly posed, the traditional stand next to each other, heavy use of artificial light, so on and so forth, to the more lifestyle photography that we have now. Now, I came in on the end of this wave in 2012 when I started my business as a wedding photographer. But what was happening behind the scenes that I didn't know at the time is that we had two different groups of photographers now kind of battling for livelihood. You had those who were used to doing things the way they always did them, heavy lighting, these traditional poses, and they did not want to change what they were doing. However, this new incoming wave of photographers was adopting this bright and airy lifestyle of photography. And so it started to become the standard on magazine covers such as The Knot or Martha's Weddings. And so people started to want that. Now, the photographers who are old school had a choice to make. They can either adapt or they can fail. And that is why a lot of wedding photographers went out of business, but not all of them did. See, there was two groups of photographers that did remain in business. One remained as photographers and others pivoted, but in essence, they both made a pivot. The one group simply learned and adapted to the new style of photography and continued on with business, rebranding themselves, while the others changed to educators. Now, the funny thing is that you guys are probably a lot newer in the industry than I am. And again, this has happened, I just don't think you guys have seen it, but this whole adventure style of wedding photography, the orangey tones and the looks like film, what's it called? There's another one out there. Oh, dirty boots, messy hair. That style of photography, this adventure style, all of these changes were because the photography industry went through another change, and that was just the shift to a more millennial bride. And this millennial bride had one thing that a lot of the other brides didn't, and that was a lack of income for the most part across the board. If you're a young person like me, you know that we have a hard time coming by that coin. So when you have these elopements, it allows you to put your money into a photographer, still get beautiful photos, and have this awesome experience that is non-traditional, which are all the things millennials love. So now we're going through that shift again, and so you will see that a lot of photographers that were doing really good back in 2013, 14, 15, all the way up until 2016, that's where you'll see some of the big names in the industry have took sabbaticals and started educating. And so they made that switch in the industry as a way to survive in the business, because $6,000 per wedding, upwards of $50,000 to $20,000 per wedding for just photo alone is something that's kind of hard to come by for the most part. And unless you have an established brand, it's easier to pivot. So what does this mean for us, right? Well, one of the things that we need to focus on is that if we continue to do the same thing that we did before this pandemic and we expect it to work, then we are absolutely 100% going to fail. So what this comes down to for us as photographers and filmmakers is our marketing. And our strategy, whether we're looking for an ideal bride or an ideal company to work with, we are always trying to adjust their specific needs. Everybody has went through some sort of change through this pandemic. So if we're trying to target that same person pre-pandemic and their specific needs, well, that person no longer exists. And therefore we are going to see a decline in our bookings. We're going to see a decline in business, and that could ultimately put us out of business. So for example, wedding photographers, if you did shoot more traditional style weddings where you actually had a guest list and you weren't on the elopement side, well, we know right now that gathering in big groups for the most part is either illegal or irresponsible, regardless of what people want to do. And so that fear is going to be in the bride's mind as well. So how can you address that as a photographer? Could you start offering elopement packages, perhaps? For people who shoot for more corporate style things, we know right now that the economy isn't doing so well. And if you watch the news and you've been in tune to what's going on, you'll notice that the marketing has changed for a lot of these businesses. They're no longer talking about their latest and greatest deals trying to attract people. Everybody is talking about how they are keeping you safe during COVID-19. So if you have a business that's main goal was to start attracting clients based off of maybe their story or how they're going to help them the best, maybe you need to start changing your marketing on how you can help your clients tell their clients how they are keeping them safe during this pandemic. Because if you watch things like car dealerships, you can order online, come get the car, so on and so forth. The marketing has changed. It's no longer about these deals. It's how we're keeping you safe, something that's on everybody's mind. So to keep this video short and sweet, here are the actionable steps that you can take in your business. And this comes down to applying it to your marketing. So you need to ask yourself a few questions. The first question is, what current challenges are my present clients and potential future clients facing, and how can I solve them? So when you answer that question, you now know what you need to be talking about through your marketing avenues to start attracting those clients to you. Remember, our marketing now needs to be appeasing fear. So then the second thing you need to ask yourself is, what do my future clients and my current clients need to hear to soothe their fears on my end? Could it be the fact that they're inviting someone new into their workspace who could potentially contaminate their workspace and cause an outbreak with their clients? That question is going to be for you to answer. But knowing this gives you your second thing that you can talk about through your marketing efforts, which is how can we soothe our potential clients' fears? The same way Domino's is talking about contactless delivery. They're soothing that fear so that we no longer have to worry about it. And it's like, okay, I feel comfortable buying from you now. And the third question that you're going to need to ask yourself is, what are 3 ways I can show up for my current clients now and my potential clients now as well? And by doing that, we're going to add to our customer service experience, which is part of our brand, and it's invaluable. What are some free things that you can give away, free tips perhaps, to your potential clients coming up, or the ones that you're trying to attract, that are going to appease their fears or even help them accomplish their mission themselves? If you are a filmmaker who works with corporate clients a lot, then you can be giving tips on how you can convey to your audience how you're keeping them safe. And if you have current wedding clients right now, you can start working with them to come up with a plan B so that they can still have your services, whether it's you postpone and they have your services in the future where you can gather in large groups, or maybe you help them pivot to maybe more of an elopement style of wedding. Again, these are things that you have to come up with yourself, but when you implement these 3 things, you now give yourself a way to take yourself out of your comfort zone, but also have action. And you can see how pivoting during this time is going to be crucial to a lot of us small businesses staying afloat. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on those post notifications if you have not. Be sure to follow me on my social media. The links are in the description down below, as well as the YouTube fam. Their links are also in the description down below. If you guys are ever feeling uninspired, uncreative, or just want to give up on life, remember, every day, airplanes take off against the wind. Live, love, laugh, stay inspired, and as always, stay fabulous. My name is Sydney, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.